Today our topic is factoring again, but this time we're factoring things of the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where the a is not equal to 1. The last set of notes when we were factoring, our a was always equal to 1, which made the factoring easier. And so if you recall last time we had things like x squared plus 2x plus 4, and we noted in the last set of notes that the coefficient of x squared was 1. Today, the coefficient of x squared is not 1, so there'll be things like 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. Before we start factoring, I'm going to write down 4 steps that we're going to follow. Step 1, we're going to multiply a times c, and we're going to get some number. We did that last time, but a was 1. The second thing we're going to do is find the factors of that number. We did this last time in your guess and check table. So we're going to find the factors of that number that add up to the middle term. So before we move on, let's go ahead and highlight what we're talking about here. We're going to find the factors of the number that add up to our middle term. So in this case, we're going to find the factors that add up to -7. Step 3, we're going to rewrite the middle term as 2 terms. Two terms that have coefficients from step 2. So those 2 factors we're going to rewrite. We're going to split this middle term up. Hold on. We're going to split that middle term up. And then the last thing we're going to do is factor by grouping. And this seems like a lot to do, but as soon as we start, you'll see it's just 4 quick steps we're going to follow. So let's go back to our original equation. We have 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. And I'm going to write this out with steps. So step 1, we're going to multiply a times c, so 2 times -15, and we get -30. Step 2, I want the factors of -30 that are going to add up to the middle term, which is -7. So let me start thinking with the -30, I'm going to go over here and do some work. -30. I've got 2 and 15, and these are all plus minus. I've got 10 and 3. Oh, 10 and 3 is going to work. So I've got 10 and 3 multiplied to 30. One of these is going to need to be negative. Since I have a -7 here, I know I'm going to need to make my 10 negative and my 3 positive, because -10 plus 3 equals -7. Step 3, we're going to rewrite the 7. So I'm going to bring my 2x squared down, and I'm going to rewrite the 7 using this 10 and 3. So minus 10x plus 3x minus 15. So there's your step 3. And step 4, we're going to factor by groups. So I'm going to group these two together, and I'm going to group these two together, and I'm going to factor out their greatest common factor. So with 2x squared and negative 10x, I know 2x goes into both of those, and what I have left is x minus 5. And then I have positive 3x and negative 15. I know that positive 3 goes into both of those, and then I get x minus 5. And here you notice each of these has an x minus 5. That's what we're looking for. We need to get the same thing in those parentheses when we're factoring. So I'm going to take this 2x plus 3. We're going to put that into parentheses and multiply by x minus 5. And this is our factored form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Now let's look at some more examples. Let's look at 7d squared plus 50d plus 7. Okay, so first we've got 7 times 7, which equals 49. I want my factors to add up to 50, so that's kind of easy because I know that's going to be a 49 and 1 because that adds up to 50. Step 3, I'm going to rewrite this. So 7d squared plus 49d plus 1d plus 7. Notice that the middle, even though it looks different, still adds up to 50d. And the fourth thing we're going to do is factor by grouping. So I have two groups here, this group and this group. In my first group, 7d goes into both of those, so I'm going to factor out a 7d. That leaves me with d plus 7. And in my second group, there's no d that can be factored out or a single number. So when this happens, we can always factor out a 1 because we need to have something that's going to go with 7d over there. And then we get d plus 7. And now we're going to rewrite 7d plus 1 times d plus 7. Let's look at Let's look at 4x squared plus x minus 3. This thing keeps popping up. Okay, 4x squared plus x minus 3. Step 1, we're going to multiply 4 times negative 3, and we get negative 12. And we want the factors of negative 12 to add up to a positive x. So that could be positive 4 times negative 3. Step 3, we're going to rewrite. So 4x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 3. I'm going to factor by group. So here's one group and here's the next group. 4x goes into both of these, so I'm going to factor out a 4x, and that leaves me with x plus 1. And in this group, negative 3 goes into both of those, and that leaves me with an x plus 1. Be careful of your signs here. Notice I factored out the negative 3, so that negative needs to come out with it. And lastly, we're going to put 4x minus 3 in parentheses, multiply by x plus 1. Now, a question that you might be wondering is the order that we write this positive 4 and negative 3 in. So let's do this problem again, but I'm going to switch the 4 and the 3, and we're going to see if it makes a difference. So our question over here on the side could be, does the order of the middle terms matter? That's a great question. So let's see. 4x squared plus x minus 3, but this time we're going to write these two middle terms in a different order. So we're going to put 4x squared minus 3x plus 4x minus 3. And so now I have different groups here. And what can I factor out of this first term? The only thing I can factor out of here is an x. Which leaves me with 4x minus 3. Here in this last term, the only thing I can factor out of here is a positive 1, which leaves me with 4x minus 3. And when I rewrite it, I have x plus 1 times 4x minus 3. So as you can see, and we know that multiplication here is commutative, so this answer is the same as that answer. And that answers our question, does the order of the middle terms matter? No, it does not. You're going to need to leave some space when you get to class. We're going to do some examples together. We can write those down. So let's look at, lift this up. We'll do 2y squared plus 5y plus 2, 6n squared plus minus 23n plus 7. Number 3, 11w squared minus 14w plus 3. 4, 6t squared plus 25t plus 11. Okay, so when you come into class, we will begin by looking at those examples for our factoring ax squared plus bx plus c.